Alright, what is up, you guys? It is Jake State Farm here with Atomic Theory, bringing you round 2 of the Atomic Chess League. I am playing against HowlinD right now. As you can see from the team matchup here, we are currently up 60% win rate to about 40%, and I need to score at least 1.5 out of these 8 games to take home the match. We won in round 1 here. We are playing against the other team that has won in round 1, so it is 1-1. In the other two teams, this match is just now finishing up, and Natso and the 2200s were able to win, so they'll be on 1 point. And if we're able to win this match here, then we will be on 2 points. And as long as we beat Natso and the 2200s, we should be able to win the second season of the Atomic Chess League. But yeah, jumping right in, it seems like he is pretty well prepared for me here. I knew knight h3 was an idea, but I mainly looked at his 2 knights prep, his e3 and his knight c3 prep in both orders. And so I haven't done any specific preparation for him in this line. So far, this is just my general preparation of this line, which there's other lines I could go into as well. If he decided to spam knight h3, I don't just have to play this line if I don't like my position. But I do like the fact that he's already spending 30 seconds here. Makes it seem like he may not be too familiar with this position. So I need to keep in mind there's some bishop h4 ideas here. So like for instance, if I go g6, he can maybe already go bishop h4. There's also f4, which is a bit more forcing. Also, I think knight a6 is supposed to be played at some point. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it. If bishop h4, I can go g5. And there's no queen h5 because I'll have g takes h4 there. Maybe there's something with starting with knight g5, but then it opens up my rook. So I think I'm okay here. I'm trying to remember what white's ideas really are. Because I've got these pawns here, it's really tough to get any kind of play on this diagonal. And I don't really ever want to push d5 either because of this. So for the most part, these pawns are going to stay stuck here. And maybe if he takes here, I can open up my light squared bishop this way. Although then it kind of blocks in my queen. So I need to, it's been a while since I've brushed up on this line, so I'm not so sure what I'm supposed to do, but the main point of this line is just, I'm getting a slightly weaker position. My pieces are not so active. It's pretty tough to activate them, but the material is equal. So, in some lines as black, you go for, losing material in return for, activity. And this line, I am just going for, I'm going for equal material and giving him a slight edge positionally. So far he's spending a lot of time here, which is good news. I know that he plays this line, so it shouldn't be, it's not like he prepared this specifically for me. So he should be somewhat familiar with this position, I would think. But so far it is, it's going pretty well for us. He's already down below a minute here. And, I spent some time in the beginning going over the ACL and stuff, but this is pretty much just prep for me at this point. Okay, and I'm just going to go g5. Maybe knight f4 is an idea. Okay, and he goes for it. Allowing f takes e4 here, which I think I pretty much just have to play. After which he's got queen f3, knight f6. And I'm not worried about takes since I don't have queen h4. Queenside castles, I could go queen f4 there. So I'm not worried about that. The only thing I'm worried about in this line is an idea like bishop d3, after which knight f6, bishop g6, king f8. I am just going to still go for this, though. I think he'll go bishop d3, or maybe he'll start with queen f3, knight f6. But no, he really can't because then I'll have knight e4. So I think he's got to start with bishop d3. To me, queen f3 is not so scary here. And if he ever takes a move to move this bishop back, I can either go knight f6 or h5. Yeah, I'm willing to give this up because it does open up my queen here. I think he needs to start with bishop g6. Because it actually takes, I'd even have maybe starting with castles first. Yeah, so he does go for this. He still might be better here, but he needs to play a move like f3 here, I think. Although then I may just have g takes. Maybe there's some ideas of getting the queen in this way. He doesn't go f3, which allows me to get my knight in here. Let's see if he goes f3 or f4. Decides to go f4. So now I can take here, and it looks like I'll at least get a queen trade here. The question is, do I have anything better? I mean, I could start with knight f2. Kind of tempted to do this. I'm going to see what he goes for here. So obviously, got to move his queen. Queen b3 runs into knight d3. Queen a4 is an idea, but then just c6, and I'm threatening knight b4 as well. So I'm curious to see where I'll go. Yeah, queen e2 is probably his best move, and then this is what I had in mind. Okay, he goes that way. Interesting. I think I want to play c6 here. Maybe a little slow though. Okay, this is actually pretty tricky. Because c6, I'm looking at something like f takes here. After which I'd need to go knight f2. I'm just going to go for it. He may take this here. But it does kind of defend against bishop d7, because then I'd have queen a5 ideas. Okay, interesting. Allowing queen a5. Queen h5. Or even just pawn h5. Also like g4 here, although then it's actually pretty tricky. Maybe e5 as well, opening up this bishop. Let's go for e5. Queen here. Okay, clearly saw that move. I guess we'll start with this. Maybe this is losing though. I think it is actually. Yeah, and he's just completely fine here. I do get this in, but I don't think he can just or wait, no, he couldn't take there, never mind. Oh, but this comes with this threat here, and I'm threatening knight f2. I might be able to scale him here, actually. Holy moly. So I'm going to have knight f2 here. I've got knight b4 ideas as well. I feel like he needs to play b4 here. Okay, now we're just good. Yeah, we'll be able to get our king in front here. Yeah, that one was a bit scammy for sure. Yep, and now he's just blocked his rook off. Let's make sure we don't let him get his king back here. Just cut this off. And this should be GG's here in just a second. Ooh, man, sweaty first game there. Yeah, I felt like he. Okay, let's make sure we can close this out here. This is actually kind of getting embarrassing. Maybe something like this. Okay, now we should be good. All right, GG's. Now we just need one more draw to clinch the match. And I'm going to go for this line. I'm hoping to see this line of d5. If you watch the video that I put out right before this, I've got some nice prep. So I'm going to wait in this position for a little bit so he thinks I don't know what I'm doing. I guess e4 makes a lot of sense here. But if he goes knight a6, I'm going to make this move pawn to e5. If he goes bishop g4 instead, which is what I don't want to see, I can go f3 at knight g5. Unfortunately, he plays this, which is too bad, because I was really hoping to get that line that I prepped. But this is another line. I'm playing queen d2 with this idea of queen g5, and I've also still got knight b5 threats here. So he's got to defend this threat. He has no time to play knight b4. So this just kind of gives me an extra tempo to where, like, now after knight b5, knight c7, I'll be able to take this knight here. Whereas if my queen was on d1, then I'd have to play something like c3, and then after, knight c2, I'd have to take it here. Okay, I believe the move is knight b5, although, and there's bishop b4. I'm not so sure actually. So maybe actually this is just the move. This actually makes a lot more sense. He's got to take, and then I'll have knight b5 now. And I mean, he pretty much has to go knight b4 here. I can take here and get a pleasant position, but I can also go knight c7 here. I think I will just take. He'll probably take, and then I can go h4, and I'll be up a pawn in the end there. I was really hoping to see knight a6. I had a really cool line prepped for him there, but unfortunately we weren't able to get that line. I had that move e5 prepped for him in the end, which I think could have been nice. Okay, yeah. Now we'll just go h4, and you know, all I need is a draw here. So if I need to sack the pawn back to, you know, stop him from creating any chaos, I will. I want to play this move g3 because it opens up bishop h3, but also keeping me flexible, because after e4 I may want to go bishop c4 instead. So let's just go g3. e4 seems like a good move, but it just loses to bishop c4, so I'm sure he'll see that. But I'm also just opening up this so that I can castle safe and sound. Yeah, at this point I'm just trying to get as easy of a position as possible to where I really don't have to think too much. Okay, interesting. So allowing takes here. After castles, I have bishop c4 takes castles. But it's unclear how drawish that really is. I guess I would have bishop h6 there. It's a nice move. So I think I can take here. Unless I'm missing something. Don't really want to allow his knight to infiltrate. Like even after bishop g5, he could go knight g4. And even bishop b7, like then he just gets to infiltrate. So I'm really leaning towards this move here. Yeah, I'm just going to go for this. I mean, bishop c5 is his only other idea. And really, I could even start with bishop h6 here, but I'm just going to do this first. Because after rook d8, bishop h6, takes and rook d1, my king is always going to be able to get back in time. And if he goes, like the only thing with bishop h6 first is like maybe there's some draw, although there's really no idea of that here. I guess in some positions you can go back and forth, but generally I just like to have as few files as open as possible if I'm going to be the last one to get on. But yeah, this is a nice move, kind of forcing him to reply to it, but also keeping an eye on this d2 square. And I guess he can play pawn to g5, but then I can just block here, and we should be able to wrap this up with a win. I have to say, my teammates really did carry me this round. Study B had an incredible 5-5 score against their top player. And then after that, it was, what can I, sorry, I'm trying to focus on the game, think if he has any weird scams here. After that, it was Maracker that was able to completely manhandle his opponent in Aranor, I think it was. Okay, so let's see. Takes here, here, here. Takes here, here, here. Yep, we barely get back in time, so we can do this. All right, and GG's. That should do it for the match. Anything after this is just, pretty much extracurricular, just bragging rights and such. Interesting. Goes for 95. So maybe he knows I'm weak in this line. He said that he had a couple ideas for the match. I think I want to go e6 here, opening up my queen. So knight b5 is not an immediate threat. Okay, but yeah, he is threatening queen h5 now. Did I ever go queen f6 here? It seems like f4 stops that. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what to do here. I'm definitely out of book already, which is not a good sign. I know this idea of bishop b4, queen h5, g6, queen g5, castles, f3, rook f6. That's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to evaluate that position. Like I have threats of knight c6 there. I may actually go into this because the one nice thing about that position is that this g-pawn is still on the board, so he's not going to, like in a lot of those positions where you end up seeing that, his rook is actually open on this g-file. But in this case, I think this is okay for me. Also, like bishop d3 doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I can just take. So like my immediate threat here is knight c6. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how okay, that, makes a lot of sense for sure. I'm going to actually block with the knight. Just, I don't want to play c6. That is one idea, like c6 and then knight a6, but I want to hop this knight into d4. I'm actually looking at this move, queen f8, so that I can play something like knight d4 later on. I'm trying to think what he's doing with this move. Actually, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If anything, it's weakening this square. I think I am going to go queen f8. There's still no knight d5. If I were him, I probably would have castled in this position, because then if I try to go queen f8 again, then there's just knight d5, which is pretty crushing. So after castles, I may have had to actually take his knight here, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just now he's in a position where he may have to take my knight off the board. Okay, and like another one of these threats in this position is something like knight g4 followed by h6, and then like maybe moving this knight away and taking this queen off the board, trading a rook and a pawn for the queen. So you always want to consider knight g4, but since he's pushed f and h pawns, it's kind of hard to play that move with a tempo. So it's giving me knight takes d4 here. I'm trying to see why opening up this bishop is so powerful for him. I'm not really sure why right off the bat. If I take here, he'll go c3. Then I could go bishop c5. And after bishop e3 takes, queen here takes, and I'm actually okay with the resulting position, although this knight is still not placed super duper well. Yeah, this is pretty tricky. I'm a little hesitant to make this move. I think I'm just going to go knight g4. I want to play this move h6. Maybe he's looking at d5, and then I'll probably just respond with e5. Also d5, then knight d4 is an idea. It takes and takes on c2. Could be nice, so we'll see here. But yeah, I want to just now go h6 and then get this knight out of here so I can threaten to take this queen here. That's the thing about this position. I feel like my ideas are pretty simple. It was just kind of deciding on which one I want to go for, whereas what he's looking at is like really trying to think of what he wants to do. Like, I guess he's trying to establish a center here, which makes sense. But I really think if he had castled, it would have been better. To be honest, I don't think this rook is ever getting out. I mean, maybe he has some long-term ideas of h4, h5. But especially if I've got a pawn on h6, it'd make more sense for him to just castle anyway. Although I will say castle opens up this nice move of knight e3 with this fork here. Forcing him to get this bishop here. So like I could do some stuff with that, like take c3, bishop c5, bishop e3 takes, and now I'm threatening knight e3 if he does castle here. Could be a nice little combination there. Although if castles takes, I don't think he'll go c3. I don't know what he'll do. It's actually kind of, yeah, he goes for this. I think I am just going to take, setting this up. I don't think I have anything better right off the bat. Like I could go h6, but he had some threats of knight d5 in the future, like maybe starting with d5 and then d6 or something. So getting these pieces off the board is a huge win for me. This is why I play this move, queen f8, just getting the queen out of the line of this bishop here. Okay, and he does end up playing c3, which is not really what I expected. Okay, now I need to think. I may bishop c5, bishop e3. I also have knight h2 there with this idea of taking here. which actually looks really good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for this. And if king h1, I'll go knight f2 probably. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. Oh, also king h1. I just missed king h1, to be honest. If I had seen king h1 in this position, I probably would have maybe still gone for this, but at least thought about it a little bit longer. Okay, this move I'm not... Like, I can go here, and if takes, I just have mate after rook f2. So I think I like this idea. I guess I also need to consider, like, queen takes here. I think I'm okay there, though. I think I'm just going to go for this. Yeah, my threat is rook f2. If takes, I may also have bishop f2. And then after takes here, yeah, okay, so this is what I considered. I could go, yeah, I think I really actually have to move here with the bishop. I don't see another way, because if I go with the queen, then I'm not really sure what to do on the end there. I don't know if this is winning or not, though, yeah. Let's just get the h-pawn rolling for now. Rook d5 is a move here. So it's at least getting a draw here, which, I mean, I wouldn't be upset about if that was the result at this point. He's got to make something happen here. He can't just flag me at his increment. Okay, interesting. Oh, okay, this is a nice idea. Even after g6, I don't... Okay, now I have this. Oh, well done, well done. I didn't even see that idea, to be honest. Okay, what shall we go for here? Maybe this 2 knights line? Or maybe I'll go for this line. Sure, why not? Let's go for this. Gives me a nice little chance to try some different openings here. So maybe I'll go for this line after g6. I know I have queen d3. It's a line that I'm super unfamiliar with, but I just have seen that he doesn't really play it well, so... After e6, I know bishop f4, and then that's pretty much the end of my preparation. I guess the idea would be after d6, you'd have knight b5. So, like, initially I'm thinking d6 is maybe not the best move there. But to be honest, I do not know what's going on in this position. Okay, goes bishop h6 instead. I think I still go bishop f4. I don't know for a fact, but another idea here is after e5, do I ever have queen h3? I'm trying to calculate this. f5, bishop g5 takes, queen h6, queen h4, g3. And at the end of that, I don't really have anything, so seems like there should be something good going on after e5. I guess it does open up knight b5, because after takes I could go knight d6 and knight c8, which could be quite nice. Okay, he does go e5. I think I will just go... but knight b5, there's queen a5, though. Also d5. Like, queen h3 is the simple move to just get to an endgame, but I actually think d5 may be the correct move. After takes, though, it's really unclear. I could go d6. No, but that loses to bishop d2. I think I might have to go for this queen h3 idea, because I just do not see another way. Like d5 takes. like maybe f4, queen e7, queenside castles, but then queen b4. I guess d5 takes f4, queen e7, e4 takes queenside castle, and then kingside castle, rook e1, rook e8, there takes. Also h4 would be an idea there. Okay, let's go for this. This seems like fun. If it was a serious, like if I was still fighting for the match here, like maybe I would go queen h3, queen h4. But I want to play something interesting here. I think for sure he'll go takes f4 in here. Like maybe bishop g5 was the right move instead of bishop f4 after bishop h6. The only move I checked in this position was e6 because it was his most common move. And after that, I know bishop f4 was the move. So here I'm not so sure what the right idea is, but I want to go for this. Queen e7, I'll just go e4. And I'm stopping queen c5 with takes. Maybe he still has queen e4 or queen b4 after e4. But then I think I might have queen h3. That'd be kind of nice. So pretty much I think I have to trade these rooks off and then just go h4 and see what he has to stop this. Because after takes, I can't really go h4 immediately. He still just castles. And this bishop is putting in work. It's stopping knight e4 here. So, yeah, this move. So I was thinking queen h3, then castles. There's also d6. I might just go d6. Because he doesn't really want to take here. I'll just go bishop here. But queen b6 maybe. I have to go queen d4. I don't know, it's tricky. I actually think maybe just queen takes e4 was the best move because now, like, even if he takes here or does something like this bishop getting here is really strong. Even have bishop h or queen h3 ideas still, but it just doesn't quite work yet. Queenside castles doesn't quite work either, so unfortunately I think I have to take this. And then he'll go b5, but then I can go h4, h5 still. So we'll see. It's an interesting position for sure. Okay. g5, but then I have h6, and wow, this is really ugly for him. He can take here, but he doesn't. Okay, now he's threatening bishop takes d6, so I got to castle here, because that would really open up his position, to be honest. Now e5, e6 is a huge threat for me. How does he stopping e6 here? Yeah, and I think I just go for it. But then takes and king d8 after. So how can I make this even more annoying? Rook e1 kind of forces out f5. Yeah, that might be the move actually. Rook e1, he does have bishop e4. And then I have bishop d3, so is there maybe a possibility of just starting with bishop d3? Takes I'm not really worried about. I can still just go rook e1 there and then be happy. Yeah, he does block. Now maybe I bring this rook over. c3 is even a possibility here. I think I'll go for it. He can't come here because I have bishop takes. Okay, I'm at least getting one of his rooks trapped. I'm not sure if I played that correctly, but let's just try to box out this this dark squared bishop here as best we can. I'm super crammed here, though, to be honest. I don't know how I'm making progress here. Maybe some idea of this. But he's going to go bishop f6 for sure. Yeah, this is not looking too great, to be honest. Like some ideas of this. Oh. Yeah. Alright, GG's. Oh, he missed mate in one. GG's to HowlinD. That was a fun game. I think he really defended quite well, to be honest. Yeah, I thought was bishop f4, right? Okay, it was a move. Okay, so I did have to just go queen h3 and trade off. Oh, queen c5. Ah, threatening queen h5. Yeah, he played well. I was pretty happy with my position in this position here. Alright, anyway, GG's. I think next game I'll probably try to go back to knight h3 there. Let's see if he goes back to this line or if he just goes standard 2 knights here. I'd love to see. Oh man, he keeps throwing wrenches in my plans. I prepped for you so long just for you to play weird stuff, man. I hate it. I had such fun prep. Allowing this, but of course there's 96. I guess I would just... Normally you see knight c7 in these positions. I'm not sure why he didn't immediately play this. With this h-pawn gone, I'm always looking at ideas of bishop g3, queen c7 with this double attack here. I could go knight c6. I could go here and then knight c6. Doesn't seem too bad, to be honest. Or maybe bishop h2. And then knight c6. I guess there's no reason not to go ahead and go for this. Yeah, it's probably going to take. And then, like, I could take here, but it also kind of opens up this queen. So I'm just going to go knight c6, because really, like, knight d6, knight b4. And I don't really want this queen to have any chances of getting out. Like, if I had started with this, e3, knight c6, then he's just got queen h5. So I'd have to take time to play g6, and then he's got, like, knight d6. So once this dark squared bishop's off the board here, I pretty much just need to get my knight in as soon as possible while his knight is still on b5. He really can't block this square too well. I'm just going to go knight b4 no matter what. If he does go... Okay, wow, interesting. I think he might be setting up queen e1. Wow, that is cool. I don't have a dark squared bishop. I think I have to go d6 because this is just such a huge threat. I'm not really worried about knight takes a7. It seems like I'll have a bunch of activity here potentially if he goes for it. f5 is a potential move later on. Now this is a bit more intriguing just because his queen is on e1 rather than d1. But also maybe just going ahead and playing g6 just in preparation for this move. Seems to be good, so I'm just going to go for this. I think I just want to keep this knight here. I could go knight a2, but I am already up material here. And so, like, if pawn a3, I'll probably just go knight a2. And if he takes, then he's the one losing a tempo instead of myself. I pretty much just want to keep my knight safe as long as possible here. Also, f5 is a possibility. I'll probably go g5. e5 is a possibility because my bishop defends, but that seems kind of risky. Also, knight d5 is a strange move. This knight really does have the potential to wreak havoc. I think I'll go here. Maybe some like bishop d7 in the future. I do think I probably need to keep this pawn here. And because I played g6, maybe I'm not a big fan of this move now, actually, because it's creating some weaknesses for me. Right, like h5. There's a threat here, and ever if I take, he's got bishop h6, which is kind of annoying. It's not awful. Maybe I should have just taken on c2 and stopped all those ideas, but interesting. Goes bishop d2. Well, now this bishop is pretty much tied down to this square. That move doesn't make too much sense to me, because now f5. I think I pretty much just have to go f5 anyway and force out g5, because I need to block off this bishop. It's just too strong right now. If he got h5 in, I'd be kind of scared. So I definitely expect to see g5, knight g4 takes, and then probably bishop d7 myself. And yeah, this bishop now is really tied down. I actually don't mind my knight at all, like compared to his, because the square it's threatening to come into is pretty strong. Whereas like, okay, knight e1, knight f6, I can just take that. I guess one idea like long term is h5, king g2, queen h1, or this way. Yeah, still h5 and getting the queen out this way could be good. I do have f4 though. Development here is not so simple. I guess f4 and then e5 with the chance to get my bishop out this way, maybe. But again, I've got to be very careful about when I push this pawn. In fact, e5, he may just have takes. Let's start with d5. It looks weird, but bishop b4. Yeah, okay, now let's go e5. He can come here, but then I can take. I don't think he quite has time. And now if it takes, I at least have d4. Yeah, I need to move this queen out of the way now. Or also just king h8, which is also nice because it's preparing rook g8. Queen h4, I've got queen g5. He could go g6, takes, and then after queen there, I'd have to take. But I think I'm first onto this file here. I think. He's got some 98 maybe. Wow, okay. He goes for it. Yeah, but now I think I just have this. So I want to start by... No, I think I want to start this way. Yeah, and I just think my rook is going to be first over here. He's pretty much got to go knight g7. Otherwise, I'm going to chop it off. I think I want to take here. Oh my gosh, how did he not flag there? I feel like it should be easy mate, but I'm not finding it. e4 here. Oh wow, okay. Whew, wow, what a game. I think I could have won that endgame no matter what, but in this position. But he definitely blundered it there. All right, I really want to get this fun position that I was talking about after d5, c6. He normally goes knight a6 here. He should know bishop g4. Okay, he goes for it. He goes for it. Now we can play this move e5. This is what I wanted to see last time. And now if you go bishop g4, I just have queen f3. If you go knight b4, I think I still go queen f3. Yeah. This line is super nice. I actually don't even know if I checked the night before. I'm a bit embarrassed to admit. Now after takes, it's knight b5. Holy crap, I'm losing my voice. If takes, I've got knight b5, knight b4, and then this beautiful move, knight f4. Just great idea. Oh wait, sorry, no. After takes, knight b. Holy moly, he's scared. He's so scared. Wow, okay. Is that a move? I mean, it seems like it's just gotta be e6, right? Sure, why not? The interesting thing is I don't have queen f4 because he's got bishop e2 there. And if I go bishop takes, then he may have bishop takes here. So there is this question of what the move is. Looks like a strange move, but even knight g5 doesn't seem right. I mean, okay, I'm also tempted by bishop d3. If takes, bishop f4. And I mean, he doesn't really have any time for knight b4 because then there's bishop here. And like anywhere he goes, I can just chop it off. And so like after bishop d3 takes bishop f4, it would seem like maybe the right idea then is to take, but now this other bishop is opened up, so I can go like bishop here, queen e8, bishop g6. I think I'm going to try bishop d3. It seems like after takes bishop f4, seems like this bishop is pretty well placed, and if he does go knight b4, then I'm just going to go queen f4. Only reason I don't go here is because after takes bishop f4, then if he takes, it seems like I may just be not enough pieces, right? Like here, queen e8, and I'm kind of out of pieces. So at least this way, like, it looks weird, but I'm keeping this bishop on the board and letting him keep this knight here, which seems like, oh, I'm giving him knight b4, but actually, after takes, I think I need all the pieces on the board I can possibly get. And I don't really see a move other than moving this bishop just because, right, this now threatens queen f4 pretty badly. So maybe this is still an idea. Okay, yeah. But this is what he goes into. Yeah, and then knight b4, I'll have bishop f4. Okay, exactly how I predicted it here. Queen d7, now I'll have this move, bishop f5. If queen e8, I'll have bishop g6. It seems good. Okay, there's some knight f6 here, but then I'll probably honestly just go knight f4. Yeah, threatening to come in here as well. It's still unclear, to be honest, because like knight f6, I don't think I can take, because then there's knight g4. And I can't even cast the queen side, there's knight b4, so I actually have to go f3 there and then takes. Seems worse for me. Knight f4 I like because it kind of provokes e6, and then there's some ideas of knight b5, knight d6. Yeah, let's go knight f4 here. If knight e4 I take. If knight g4, I have to go f3 here. But again, I'm threatening knight e6 now as well. And he may get tempted to play e6, and then after takes, I've got ideas of knight b5, knight d6, also hitting a7. But like I said, it's still really unclear, to be honest. Okay, now I like knight e6 because it hits g7 and it hits this knight. So he may have missed this. If he pushes the g-pawn, takes, and knight b5, then at the very least I have knight b4. Knight b4. At the very least I have knight b5 there, I think. Okay, interesting. Wants to get his bishop out, but I mean, if bishop h6, I can just take, and this knight is controlling this square here. I want to set up a potential mating net, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, to be honest. Okay, I see this crazy idea. I kind of want to just go for it because it's cool. The idea is after takes, I can go rook here. Ah, but then there's takes here. Okay, maybe this was bad. Wait, okay, I still think I can go for this, actually. Alright, this is actually really pretty. If takes, I have knight d6. Oh, wow, it's so beautiful. That's actually such a cool checkmate. That is really beautiful. That's so cool. And I appreciate him letting me actually get it on the board. What a fun game, man. That was a really cool game. Had to sack my queen on f3. I'm not sure where he went wrong or how long I was better for. Obviously, at the end there, I was better, but that was a really cool game. Probably very instructive, too. Oh, going for spam. All right. Gonna practice our spam defense here. Okay, a lot of different lines we can go for here. Tell you what, let's just go for this knight h6 line, considering I just talked to Wolfram about this line. But I love this f5 stuff as well. I'm torn. Let's just go for this. I don't know if I've ever played this, to be honest. Maybe once or twice, but definitely not in an important match. So he definitely won't be prepared for it, which is the upside. Although, I don't think HowlinD preps as much as some other players. So I probably shouldn't be too worried about it, but interesting. Goes h3, allowing b5, I think. Because knight f5 I can take. The problem is you normally can't go b5 because after knight f5 there's no takes. There's queen h5, queen d5, queen d5 stuff. I still can't get over that last game. That was such a nice little checkmate idea. Okay, goes for this, but okay, I guess f5 does not work great because then there's queen h5. There's g6. Takes on h5 is probably okay. I'm just trying to calculate this. G6 here takes knight f5, takes queen f3. But then I'll have d5, which opens up this bishop on this f5 square. If queen f4, I'll have bishop d6. There's no queen g3 because I'll have bishop h3. So yeah, I think g6 works. And I mean, now he pretty much has to take because otherwise I'm threatening f5. And there's maybe some knight f3 ideas in that position, but you know, g6 is cutting off queen h5, so yeah, I think we're good after here. Takes queen f3 and d5. I just don't see any good squares for his queen. Right, queen g3, I can just come here even though it's got this double attack. Then there's just bishop takes h3, and if queen f4, then I'll have bishop d6 cutting this off, and then the rook cuts this square off. So yeah, I don't think he's got anything here, which I definitely like my position quite a bit here, considering I'm only down a pawn and I've got this open g file, which a lot of times is actually an advantage anyway. Rook g8 is a possibility. If g5 I can take. Rook g1 here. Also like something like bishop b7 just to get this knight out of here. c5 is another idea to hit the knight out. Maybe I'll just go c5. Because actually this bishop could be really strong here, so I don't know if I want to trade it off for this knight when I can just go c5. If knight b3, I'll go a5, and I'm super happy there. Maybe there's d4 there, but... Okay, he goes for this instead. I guess it is a bit annoying because he's got rook g1 now. So I think I have to go f5. Because rook g1, I can go queen h4, rook g3, and then I could have takes. I've got a few things, like even, yeah, I think I actually have to take there. And this f pawn also cuts off this g4 square, which is potentially clutch, but... Yeah, maybe pawn h4 now. I've got some ideas of bishop d6. Also bishop b7. After here, I can always come here with a tempo, right? Because I can hit this pawn on d2 and then go bishop d6. So I've got some ideas like that. Since I'm already down material, I don't really mind sacking another pawn. Like if we get into an endgame where I'm still down a pawn, I'm losing anyway. So I've got to make something happen no matter what. So I'm, you know, definitely not opposed to sacking something. Okay. So d6 has got rook g1. I'm looking at bishop e7 here. After knight e5 here, queen h5, and I would have this in the end, which is mate. So he can go knight e5, but then I think knight f7 is losing. Because, yeah, queen a5 and bishop h4. Alright, yeah, this is losing, I think. I do have this threat, like he almost kind of has to go h4, but then I can just take. This doesn't seem too good for him, actually. That's actually a nice move. Completely missed that, but I don't think we're worse here at all. It's a nice move to survive. Now knight f7 actually works. Yeah, I kind of think he had to at least try knight f7 there. Okay, but maybe queen d6 is bad now, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. Although I still think I'm getting there first here. I'm just going to sack my queen. So I'm threatening this. He's got to go like knight c3. Still doesn't have time to take it, and then yeah, we'll just be able to hop in now. All right. GG's. One more game just to balance colors here. Let's see what I want to do. I guess we gotta hit him with the good old-fashioned farmer's gambit. It's too much fun to pass up here. Okay. I think I've been playing this move knight f3, just sacking a pawn here, but getting this rook open. Because if you go like g3, you can end up getting actually a little cramped in this position. If bishop d6 is like specific prep, then I'm definitely probably gonna go knight f3. If it's because I know I don't play it that much. If it's not specific prep, then I'm more open to going into like a line like g3 because like maybe there are some chances there for white if my opponent hasn't prepped. Because f4 obviously his idea is queen b2 takes and knight f6, sorry. But then bishop d3, I feel like because his dark squared bishop's off the board here, it seems like he's gonna just have a lot less pieces able to defend. Even after queen b2, I don't necessarily have to take that. I could go queen h5 first, g6, queen h4, but then that also opens up queen f6 ideas. If he doesn't go queen b2, I probably go knight c3, I think. Let's see what he does. Okay. I'm a little bit hesitant to do this because of queen f6, but then there's knight c3. If b5, knight e4. And of course after knight f6, it seems like I'd probably just have f5. Although there's... It's tricky. Also, so if takes knight f6 is the obvious reply. Bishop d3, he's honestly probably going knight g4, but then I'm just going to go for this. This seems good enough. I have this immediate threat that he needs to stop. Knight h6 doesn't work because I always have like this bishop b5 idea, yeah. So he's got to do this. He can go knight e4 and takes. Then maybe h5, that's probably his best try. And maybe I should have gone for that other line. I was looking at it for queen h5, g6, queen h4. Because he definitely doesn't want to take the time to take here. That's, you know, in any of those lines, it's bad. If f6, then I could just take on h7. His queen is now blocked from coming back. I don't know. Maybe I messed that up. Because honestly, in this position, I'm certainly not loving my position. Just preparing for knight c6. I want to probably just get this d pawn down the board. I could also do it with the f pawn, because I can potentially have this tempo with queen f3. But yeah, I have to say I think he's probably better here with best play. Like pawn d5 makes a lot of sense to me here. Stops me from playing d5 and just helps his development. That seems fine as well. Yeah, I honestly don't love my position right here. He is running quite low on time though, so that is one advantage. Even d6 here, just like, it's very unclear how I'm breaking through here with only pawns. And the more pawns that come off the board, it is probably harder to break through. I guess c4 if takes, I can go b5 and really just clamp down on this knight. Anywhere he goes, I could just take it. Okay, now I've got some ideas of c6. So he's got to stop that threat, because takes c6, then he'd have to go d takes, and that's maybe still okay for him, but a little scary, I would think. Yeah, because actually then I could just maybe go de. Yeah, it's actually not so simple, because c6, I can play this move still. I'm starting to come into d6. Okay. Very logical, very logical. It's really quite tricky. I think I'll go here. It's opening up d6 as a possibility as well. Okay, but if I do it immediately, rook a3. a3 first makes some sense. No, not really. No, this doesn't seem good. None of it. Alright, let's just go for this. Yeah, he finds it. Really, my only hope was that maybe he wouldn't see that move or something. Gotta just hope that there's some kind of counterplay here, but, you know, rook c3. Okay, interesting. Had to push my g-pawn there to... Yeah, I'd love to go queen c5, but then there's just going to be mate there eventually. Oh, yeah. Not looking good. All right, well played. Well played in that last game. I'm wondering if did I miss a win there? Oh my gosh. Okay, queen h5 did work. Yeah, and they had this idea too. So queen h4 wasn't even necessary, calculating this line out. Yeah, I was looking at this whole thing. Just completely misevaluated this position. Did I have a win there at some point? Oh my gosh. That's rough. Yeah, I was really just expecting to see rook c3 here. My mind wasn't even considering queen c5 at that point. I guess I'm not too upset about that. I only had 8 seconds on my clock either way. But anyway, GG's. Yeah, thank you guys for the support. That is 2 wins for us in the Atomic Chess League. So yeah, we'll be playing against NATO in the 2200s, and if we're able to win, then we will win the season 2 of the Atomic Chess League. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.